going on, man?
Nothing. Football stuff. Just a bunch of drama on the football team. Guys driving me crazy.
Anyone in specific?
It's just this dude who's supposed to be like one of our de facto leaders, and he's got some serious like issues with me. I don't know. He blew up in practice the other day. We're supposed to be having a vote on who's going to be in charge, and I kind of didn't want to have the vote. I decided like, one, there wasn't enough people to have a legitimate vote, but two, I noticed kind of, I don't know, I just didn't want to have the vote. I don't want to be the person who's making this call and making these decisions, but because the guy who is making the decisions is bad at it, everybody always looks to me to make the decisions.
What's the vote for?
It's like a captain, I guess, is the best way to put it. Not really a captain. It's like just the way that the team is structured. You have like an owner who's like your head coach, captain, whatever you want to call it. Then he's got two guys that he's empowered to be like his de facto subordinates. Well, one of these guys who's a subordinate runs one side of the ball, the other one runs the other side. And unfortunately, the guy who I have who runs our side of the ball doesn't know what he's talking about most of the time. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's talking about, and he's terrible at like explaining what he's trying to get us to do and what he's trying to get done on the field. And it's really frustrating because everyone always looks to me to fix things, even though I'm not in charge.
So it sounds like you're having a problem with poor communication within your leadership.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah. No, their communication is awful. Like, they're not good at it at all, either, any of them. We have two guys at the top. Well, two of the three guys are super passive when they get in front of people, and they don't like to like rock the boat. They don't assert themselves as authority figures. And then the other of the three who he's like explosive, and it's like not helpful. He's explosive at all the wrong times, and it's oftentimes explosive to the detriment of our team, whether it's on his own teammates in the middle of a game or to the refs, so that the refs stop calling the game fairly and are purposely trying to call the game against us because he's been so rude and arrogant and obnoxious to them in the middle of a game that it's poisonous. He's like a cancer on the field for us. So it just doesn't help because the other two guys are so passive and kind of quiet. They won't make a change or say anything to him to call him out on it. So it just creates all kinds of conflict and turmoil.
So am I hearing you correctly? It kind of sounds like, out of your three leaders, personality-wise, they don't really fit the role of a leader.
No, not at all. And we have guys on the team who can lead. And it stinks because all the rest of the team look to the same two guys for leadership, for explanation, for clarification. Whenever the team gets into a bad spot and we're on the brink of spiraling out of control, everybody goes to the same two guys, and it's none of the three guys who are in charge. And it's like, all right, then why are those three guys the guys who are in charge if nobody ever goes to them when there's something that's wrong? Everybody is constantly talking about how bad they are and how they're not getting the job done, but nobody wants to step up when we're in a group setting and challenge their leadership as far as them being in charge, whether it's because they're scared or pride or ego or whatever it is. It just makes it really frustrating because they're constantly coming to me, and it's like I've told them time and time again, look, if you guys have a problem, don't come to me. I'm not the person that you need to tell this to. You need to go to the guys who are in charge, specifically our head coach, leader, owner, and talk to him and tell him your concerns. Don't come to me because I don't hold any power. I'm not going to toot my own horn, essentially.
That's got to be frustrating, having people come to you looking for answers when you're not in the position of power to give those answers.
Nope.
or find the appropriate route to do so.
Yeah. And they're always looking at me to go and toot my own horn on their behalf instead of them growing a pair and going and doing it for themselves and saying, hey, look, we don't like this. We think that this person should be in charge. No, they just come to me all the time and tell me that I should do something about it. And it's like, guys, that's not the way this works. I'm trying to be respectful of the fact that we have a team here and a team structure. Now, as my teammates, as a group, as the greater number of individuals in this situation, if you guys go as a collective and say something, I'm not going to say no. I won't shirk your faith in me and say I don't want to do it. I'll do it, but I'm also not going to be the person to walk up and toot my own horn and be like, hey, guess what? I think I'm better than you and I should do this. It's got to be something where it's like, hey, look, the team feels like this person is better to do the job, how do you feel about acquiescing and letting them take a shot?
Yeah. So you're willing to take on that role of leadership, but you don't want to be the one to force that issue?
No, no, I don't. I really don't. And it's like I've even tried the route of trying to help teach the guy who is in charge, but he don't want to hear it. He thinks that his way is the best way and the only way, despite the fact that the product on the field has proved otherwise time and time and time again. He just seems to only cue in on like the 5 or 6 times where things, quote unquote, worked than he thought he called a play. And I'm like, Mike, half the time it's like, I think that you made a play, but it's also because I went down to the D-line and looked at the guys who were with me and said, hey, guess what? Mike's calling some crazy stuff back there. We need to make a play.
So when's the next time you guys are going to talk about this?
Probably won't.
All right, well.
I mean, I'm not going to bring it up again. You know, and it's kind of tough to do that because we won our first game. Granted, we barely won it, but we won it. So
yeah, I saw
it's
that.
like the worst possible. You don't want to have a victory and then bring up some team turmoil stuff after a victory. That's like the last time that you want to do that. You want to let the good vibes ride for a little while. You know, you gotta embrace that. You know, but at the same time, you know, there's definitely potential for trouble. So I don't know, whatever.
Well, you know what? Keep me updated with what happens. Just let me know if anything changes, and that does sound like it's kind of a tough thing to go through.
Yeah.
And especially from your side, where I think that people are looking to you to kind of be that leader and to point everybody into that right direction and bring them to the other side.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It just, hopefully the win last week we'll just keep winning and we don't ever have to address this issue this season. But I don't really believe that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, I understand. All right. Yeah, well, all right. Keep me updated. Let me know what happens.
All right, man.
All right.